Natasha Demkhina. In Saransk, Russia, a baby was born in 1987. This baby was Natalia Demkhina, known as Natasha, who would grow up to have alleged X-ray vision. The Russian woman claims that she can see inside the human body, giving her the unique ability to make medical diagnoses without the need for an actual examination. By the age of 10, young Natasha was already doing medical readings for the Russian people. She was featured on the Discovery Channel both in the United Kingdom and in Japan in 2004. In 2006, she started to use her miraculous powers publicly, setting up the Center of Special Diagnostics of Natalia Demkhina, or TSSD for short. The purpose of the TSSD was for Natasha and other healers involved with the organization to help diagnose and treat various maladies by using unusual abilities, folk healing and traditional medicine. Natasha explained, "I was at home with my mother and suddenly I had a vision. I could see inside my mother's body and I started telling her about the organs I could see." She revealed that after she informed her mother that she was able to see the organs inside her, the word of her abilities spread around the community. Local people would come to her wanting insight into the condition of their health. In 2003, a newspaper picked up on the story and she was invited to the UK, Japan, and New York to demonstrate her powers. In the UK, she gave demonstrations of her skills, after which all her diagnoses were placed alongside those of professional doctors. One of her demonstrations impressed the daytime host of This Morning Britain by pointing out the fact that she had a sore ankle, and the Discovery Channel claimed that she managed to identify the fractures and even metal pins stuck in a woman who had been in a terrible car crash. Her talents were, at first, believed and applauded, but after she left the country, it became clear that she had made several mistakes with her diagnoses. The worst one of all being the diagnosis she gave to Chris Steele, a television physician. She claimed he had various problems, such as kidney stones and a serious issue with his gallbladder, among other things, but it turned out he was in pristine health and had no ailments at all. She was taken to New York to showcase her skills in the documentary The Girl with X-Ray Eyes, where she was tested by researchers from the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry. The people she diagnosed explained they felt her diagnoses were accurate. Many of the patients were impressed with her, but the scientists were skeptical, claiming instead that the phenomenon is akin to that of fortune tellers, nothing more, as her diagnoses were often faulty, according to researcher Richard Wiseman. Ray Hyman, Richard Wiseman, and Andrew Skolnick were the leading researchers conducting their tests on Natasha and came to the conclusion she did not show enough proof of having the acclaimed ability to be studied any further. Natasha Demkhina managed to correctly diagnose basic conditions in 4 or 6 patients, but needed to get at least 5 or 6 correct in order for more experiments to be carried out. Demkhina and her supporters argued about the conditions under which she was tested, primarily their unfairness towards her. Brian Josephson, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist and supporter of parapsychology, heavily criticized Ray Hyman's methods, questioning the scientists' motives, and then accused them of having some kind of plot to discredit the teenage claimed psychic. Brian Josephson's argument was that Natasha managed to get 4 of 6 patient diagnoses correct. The chances of that were 1 in 50 or 2% alone, and that fact, according to him, should be considered. Demkhina had more testing at the Tokyo Electrical University in Japan, where she was further tested by Professor Yoshio Mashi. Since the early 2000s, not much has been heard from Demkhina. The disappearance of Martin Allen. Martin Allen disappeared a month after his 15th birthday in November 1979 while walking through King's Cross Station on his way home from school. He lived in Kensington with his parents. His father was employed as a chauffeur to an ambassador of the Australian High Commissioner. It was said that there was nothing in Martin's personal life that would indicate his wish to run away, yet he disappeared without a trace. At around 3:50 p.m, Martin said goodbye to a friend at King's Cross Station and boarded the tube on the southbound Piccadilly line, his usual journey. He was intending to stay at his older brother's place in Holloway, but was heading home first to pick up some money. His parents believed he was at his brother Robert's home, while Robert believed he had changed his plans and stayed at home. As a result, his disappearance was not reported until 7 p.m. the next day as his mother served dinner. Around the time of Martin's disappearance, there were multiple reports of a boy matching Martin's description in the presence of a man at Gloucester Road Station. One witness said the boy had been thrown against a wall, another saw him heading down a lift, and another that saw a young boy and a man fitting the same description boarding a train to Rayners Lane, and the boy did not want to leave the train when it arrived at Earl's Court. A description of the man aged between 30 to 40 years old with blonde or light hair was released to the public. Despite numerous witnesses, all leads led nowhere. There have since been rumours Martin was abducted, but one of the main witnesses was found to be a fantasist. No new leads have come to light of Martin Allen's disappearance, and it still remains a mystery. The strange disappearance of Alfred Bilhart. It was a warm summer day in 1938 when the Bilhart's family decided to go fishing at Estes Park, Colorado. They had been camping in the Rocky Mountain National Park over Independence Day weekend for their summer vacation. What they expected to be a lovely and fun family outing soon turned into a nightmare that they never woke up from. On July 3, 1938, at approximately 8 a.m., the youngest Bilhart's child, Alfred, mysteriously disappeared. The family was camping about a quarter-mile west of the Fall River Lodge with family friends. The campsite was situated near Horseshoe Falls, where the Roaring River and Fall River intersect. That morning, the Bilhart's family made plans to go fishing. They were hiking together on a trail that ran alongside the Roaring River. As the trail they were hiking on was narrow, the family formed a single line as they walked. Little Alfred Bilhart was the youngest of 10 children in the family. Only 4 years old at the time, Alfred made up the rear of the line. His parents and 9 older siblings were all ahead of him, so no one noticed when he fell behind the group and vanished. After realizing he disappeared, his family desperately searched the area for him. Unsuccessful, they anxiously called in the park rangers for assistance. Ranger Moomore at the Fall River Ranger Station immediately contacted the Civilian Conservation Corps, a work relief program implemented by President Roosevelt's New Deal. Over 100 CCC members showed up to help in the search and rescue. The Rangers assumed he had fallen and drowned in the creek, so they focused their search there. They dammed the creek by setting up sandbags, rocks, logs, and even a fence with barbed wire, but no body turned up. They also dragged the river for almost 6 miles, as there was no way for his body to have been carried downstream past all the searches and obstructions. The Rangers stopped searching the river. There was a potential sighting of him by fellow hikers in the national park. On Sunday, July 3rd, William J. Eales and his wife were hiking up the old Fall River Road. While taking a break, they looked up at Mount Chaplin and saw a young boy sitting on a ledge along the mountainside. According to the couple, he made a loud noise before either abruptly leaving or being pulled back. This section of the mountain was 6 miles west and almost 3,000 feet higher in elevation from where Alfred had vanished from. The couple reported this to the Rangers a day later, but nothing was found by the time investigators arrived. Alfred's parents were convinced that he had been abducted. They argued that he would never just walk off and leave his family, and they were very doubtful that he had fallen into the creek. The searchers moved their focus onto land and brought in bloodhounds, but to no avail. They picked up a few scents but quickly lost them at a fork in the path and at the water. After 10 days, the search was eventually called off. There were hoax ransoms and a claimed sighting of him with a man in Nebraska, but no concrete leads. 82 years later, Alfred Bilhart is still missing. His case is no longer being investigated.